Hello, hello. I'm just going to allow. Hello, Sarah. Just a bit. Hello, guys. I'm so happy that you're joining us anyway. Welcome, welcome. So nice to meet you, everyone. And just, hey, Tasha. Just for everyone to know me, my name is Lila Bati. I am a Mexican teacher, but right now I am in Mexico visiting my mother, but I am usually based in Scotland along with my husband. His name is Mahadeva, another teacher of this organization, The Bright Path. And today we're going to be, Jaya is here. Today we're going to be having the enormous pleasure to chat with Jaya Ishaya. Jaya is another teacher of this amazing organization. She's a teacher from New Zealand who's most of the time she lives in Spain, but right now she's in Las Vegas and kind of getting ready to go to Mexico. And she's going to tell you more about that. I mean, what an amazing teacher. She's been all over the world, touching so many hearts. And just very briefly, I want to mention something about Jaya when I met her over 20 years ago. And it was that she had this amazing quality to make me feel at ease with things. She had this amazing presence where things were always right. I always felt like I could trust her. I could always feel safe in her presence, and basically that there was nothing wrong with me. And that's an amazing quality to discover in a teacher. So I'm going to bring her right now with us. She's going to be talking with us about the passion for waking up. So I'm just going to invite her right now. Give me a second.
I can't hear. Oh, I can't hear you. Something happened.
Yeah, changing.
Can you hear me?
Is it any better?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Maybe everything I said before, nobody heard.
No, I heard everything before. It's when we connected.
Right.
Actually, what you were sharing before, I just about started crying. That was so beautiful.
So it seems that whatever I said at the beginning, nobody heard because my headphone wasn't working. So sorry.
I think we did hear you. It was when you put me in there that then I couldn't hear you.
Anyway, Jai, I'm so happy to see you. We have other people here joining us. Thank you so much for being here today. And what I was saying to everyone was that today you're going to talk to us about, I have the topic here, which is the passion for waking up. And what that means is that this is the big deal, right? It's not just about experiencing life with less stress or sleeping better, having more creativity, being more present, but actually it's a big deal. Would you like to tell us a bit more about this and how was that in your own journey?
Yes. I agree with you. I think a lot of people hear these words like waking up or enlightenment or, you know, these big concepts and have no idea really what it means. And it really is such a big deal because it's freedom. And even that word freedom is so overused, and perhaps we've got ideas of what that means. But it wasn't until I actually realized what it really means, and that how accessible it is for everybody, that I realized the beauty of what we're doing as Ishayas in this teaching, the potential for everybody. And it's freedom from the thoughts and the concepts and the stress and the fears and the anxieties. And when you talk to most people every day, that's what most people are coming from, because that's their reality. And it was mine as well, right? I was very angry at the world. I saw a lot of problems in the world 20 years ago, right? So this isn't new. This isn't just happening now. But 20 I was very judgmental of everything that was around. And when a friend of mine said, hey, I'm going to introduce you to meditation, I was like, I don't need that. You know, what's the point of that? But now I'm of the belief meditation really should be taught in schools, because it's actually it's so practical. It's seeing how we operate. It's seeing how me as an individual person create my reality of thinking, and how what I think about distorts my world, right? It doesn't add to it in a positive sense. It distorts it. And that's the root of where stresses and anxiety and depression comes from. Helplessness, fear, that is the root. That's where that comes from. So by starting to see where what we're thinking about comes from, and how I'm thinking these things and judging these things and worried about these things, I have then the ability to change that. And that's what's so miraculous about this teaching, is the ability to really be living in this state of presence and freedom from the stress, from what is going to happen, from the negativity. And it took me a bit of time to practice to realize that I could really see it in me. It was my thoughts and my choices that I was choosing to think about. So all the ownership went back to me, which is very uncommon for people to realize. A lot of people keep blaming the outside or other people or situations. And so it's very humbling to realize that it's what I think about that's creating the filter that then I see my world through. And that's freedom, because you can change that.
Absolutely. Now that you're mentioning about these things should be taught, for example, in schools, and make it more kind of shouted out loud to the world, like it's just your relationship with all that movement. But does it mean that someone has to be ripe enough to see it, to accept it, to move through it? Or is this for everyone?
Oh, it's such a wonderful question. It's for everyone, because, you know, we'll have our own journey of what life is for us. And we'll have our own situations that we're presented with that kind of rock the boat a little bit. You know, that's life, right? But to be able to see it from a perspective that is not personal, or that that you can be open to actually realize that instead of it being right or wrong like this, or what is going to happen, and this I really do not like it, to actually open up your perspective, to actually be more embracing of other people's point of views, or a different side of the story, or allowing change to happen for a reason greater than perhaps what you're aware of. All of this is, anyone can do that. And what we train people, I guess you could call it, with the practice of this meditation, is for them to see that they have the tools to do that. And that's why I think this teaching is so beautiful, because when people learn the very simple techniques that are the meditation practice, it's like within a weekend, within days, within hours, they realize they have a tool to actually change what they're thinking about, recognize something different. So it's instant for everybody. The practice is to keep doing it, right? And then to integrate daily life. That's what a practice is. And even with that, it's simple because it's what we want to do. We want to move towards our happiness and our peace. So to use a tool that's encouraging that is really, really effortless, really.
Fantastic. So thank you so much, Jaya, for this clarity. Now, maybe right now, or maybe on the replay, there will be people maybe joining to this conversation for the first time. Maybe they never heard about the TheBrightPathIshayas or anything. Is there like a journey they have to go through? Is there like you need to do this first and then this? Is there an order, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's very cool. I've been doing this for 20 years, so sometimes I can just jump the gun or use our terminology. If somebody was joining for the first time and has the passion for what we're talking about, it's very simple. You can just connect with us on any of these social media platforms asking for a little bit more information. And any teacher of the Bright Path is so willing to set up a free introduction, couple of hours, evening or situation to explain why this meditation is so direct and so user-friendly. And what typically happens is anybody who wants to learn the techniques, there's the first 4 techniques is taught in usually a weekend format. But if people work on the weekends, it could be taught during the week. It's very nice. But in that format, you understand why the techniques are used the way they're used and how to use them with your eyes open in daily life or eyes closed in a traditional, meditation practice, which is simply 20 minutes 3 times a day. So it's very easy actually to integrate this into your life already, right? Everyone can find 20 minutes here and there. You just wake up a bit early, you take a break at work, before you go to bed, or if you're having an afternoon rest, very, very easy to find these 20 minutes to just close your eyes and use these techniques. And what you're doing is really seeing what you're thinking about and what's kind of churning in your mind, And a lot of people I've been talking to just recently are seeing the common stuff that's coming up. And what these techniques do is kind of interrupt that. It's like, your mind's on fast forward and you don't know how to stop, or you're constantly going on about what's going to happen and how to get out of these situations. And what you do is these techniques are beautifully interrupting that craziness, that speed, to allow us to be present. And it's simple as that. It's as simple as that. And it's in the return, which is natural, to being present, that we realize that perhaps we can have a different relationship to those thoughts. Do I have to think them? Are they actually giving me peace and happiness, or are they actually giving me stress? And you start to see a whole different way of seeing what your mind is doing and what you can do with those thoughts, right? Because I didn't realize I could actually interrupt them. And I definitely didn't realize that I could change them or step back from them and let them just be like the wind passing through. And then as you play with that, as you use that as a practice, your relationship to being present and your relationship to kind of getting worried all changes. And that's the point. The whole point of this teaching is realizing that it really is a choice, and that your peace and happiness is livable right now in any of the days that you're living right now. No matter what's happening in your life, in the world, your desire for peace can be a living experience. And that's super beautiful.
No, it sounds just amazing. And just what you were saying before, just that kind of taking responsibility without blaming the world or the partner or our jobs, or not experiencing peace right now. It's just actually owning that part of your life to an extent to do something about it and change your relationship with all this chit chatter that it's saying things should be different in the outside, or I should change the partner or move to another place, make more money. I mean, you name it. There's so many excuses and things why I'm not having peace right now.
Yeah. It's so easy to blame everything else. You know, it's their fault, it's the traffic, it's the money, all the busy things I need to do today, because everyone's busy, right? And yet we are actually sacrificing our own happiness with these excuses, or by putting all our attention into how bad that is, instead of realizing right now, I don't have to judge that. I can actually be in this moment and allow the goodness of life to simply flow, and I can be a very happy part of that. And it's funny because when you start to experience that difference, it's like you start to really see that to get worried and anxious about what could happen doesn't make sense. But most of us have been living that because that's what we believe to be real. So it's really cool to see the difference, actually. But yeah, your piece is your choice. It really is. And I love that because that's empowering.
Absolutely. So whomever who's watching, you don't have to change anything right now to experience peace, right? There's no changes, there's no modifications in your life, the way you eat, if you smoke, if you have a stressful job, if you have whatever is going on in your life. You don't have to change any of those things to have peace right now. So I just want to mention that we have some people joining us on this live interview. If there is any questions or things that Jaya is mentioning, please just put them on the comments. I'll do my best to read them. I just want to acknowledge a few people here that there's been so many beautiful hearts while you've been speaking, Jaya. Thank you so much. Thank you guys I just want to acknowledge everyone for joining us today. Have a tea, have a coffee, everyone. Thank you so much, Jaya. And is there like a practical exercise, a practical experiential tool you can do with all of us right now to jump into that space of presence, to have that experience of stillness right now? Is there an exercise you could just play with us?
Oh, yay. The first thing that comes to mind, well, I've been teaching this for many years, so there's many exercises and hints and ways for people to see their mind, and even just step out into their day a little differently. And the one I would love to share with you guys today, and but you've got to play with it, you got to do it. It's not just words, it's actually you've got to do it, right?
Exactly. Like, you can do it right now, right?
Yeah, you can do it right now. And even this very, very simple exercise, I mean, the whole teaching is experiential. It's not about being read from a book and you learning a book or learning some meditation techniques and that's it. You've got to do it because you want to change your life or you want to change your relationship to your thoughts. So it's a practice. So even this little exercise is a practice. And so for the rest of today, if it's nighttime for wherever you are, or if it's the beginning of the day wherever you are, let's play with this perhaps for the next week because, it's a practice and it's as simple as seeing how often you can be appreciative for whatever is in front of you. So what do I mean by that? I mean that if you're just going for a walk, instead of just kind of like do, and you're just thinking, be aware of being appreciative for being able to walk, for being out in the sun, for the colors you can see, for, whatever. If you're at work, play with being appreciative to your co-workers, to the job at hand, the task at hand, the time frame. I don't know, you completed your task in X amount of hours. Play with being appreciative if you're hanging out with family members or your partner. Like just play in every situation you're in the next 24 hours and then onward and during the week, with how much appreciation you can just bring into whatever you're doing. But by being conscious of that, what does it give you? What does it give you to actually change how you're thinking, right? Because to be appreciative, you're actually changing the unconscious thinking and what you're worried about and what's going to happen, the list of things to do. You're changing that to being conscious to be appreciative. And just see, because instantly you have to be present to even acknowledge that change of thinking. And then because you're focusing on something that's good in this moment, you're actually seeing it through perhaps new eyes because you're present to it. And it's pretty amazing how simple that is. But actually, it's kind of interesting how life transformative it could be as well for you.
That is awesome. Also, because those are bits of waking up, isn't it? In those moments, you are awake.
Yeah.
And then everything is just kind of reaccommodating itself because your focus is on what you see that will be growing. Wherever you put your attention on, that will grow naturally. And those are kind of sparks of waking up, being alive.
Exactly. I mean, everyone's probably heard that saying, and you just said it too, what you focus on grows. And what we're doing constantly, if you're wanting to change and experience, more happiness and peace in your life, if you can become aware of what you are focusing on, and if it's anxiety or what's wrong, which a lot of us do, and that feels normal. But if you're focusing on that then fills up your world, fills up the space, that there's always something wrong, there's always something to worry about. So we're not burying our heads in the sand at all, but we're acknowledging that if I just started to focus on something different, like what's good here right now. I mean, I'm still very current and present to everything that's going on, even perhaps the problem or the things that I need to address differently or invite change into. But I'm not coming from a platform of misery and worry every day for the next month. I'm coming from a platform of actually clarity and calm and appreciation, but still then doing the task at hand. So yes, it's such a simple first step, such a simple invitation, but it's amazing to see what it changes. And if you're changing that platform of who you're being right now and realizing you can be present and show up to life from this moment and what that actually means, what you focus on grows, then everything starts to change. Your relationship to the problem, you start to have clarity. Maybe it's not a problem, maybe it's an invitation for something that needs to change or a different perspective. The person perhaps that wasn't easy to deal with, perhaps there's more patience or compassion to how that person's being, because maybe they've got stuff going on in their life. Like everything starts to change, which makes your platform, your anxiety, your depression, your fear dissolve into this presence of just connecting and realizing what actually is in this moment.
Wow, that's amazing, because we are creating a different reality altogether. And I'm just so enthusiastic about this topic, Raya, because this is something people get to live in, for example, in the mastery, in a first fear course where everyone is just joining with their desire to go for more, to live more presently, to fully awake. So the flame that everybody, I just so enthusiastic. This is a big deal.
I know, it's so beautiful. I mean, that's why we have all become teachers of this, is because it's real. And I know for me, when I first learned this, I was like, oh yeah, whatever, And then my life was changing so quickly in days, the first days of using these Ascension attitudes, the meditation techniques. And I could use them just walking down the street with my eyes open. I could use them closed eyes in the typical 20 minutes here and there. And so it was nothing to do. It was so easy and effortless to use these techniques. And yet that's what was changing for me. And that's why I've continued to be a teacher. And what I do now is instruct in the longer retreats, so that people have the ability to make this permanent. You know, it's not this fleeting thing, or then another big change happens in life and off I go up and all my anxiety's back. It's like, no, this can be permanent. And that's what the longer retreats invite people to see in themselves, how to stabilize this and live this. So it's so exciting because it is the hope of humanity, which is why I said it should be taught in schools. It's so practical to actually know what the heck I'm thinking about and how that affects me and creates my anxiety. I'm not just anxious because I'm thinking myself anxious. I'm thinking myself sick, you know? And so if I change what I'm thinking about, there's this whole new hope and results instantly. It's amazing. It really is.
Oh, Jaya, I'm so, I love everything you said. Thank you so, so much. I'm aware of the time and it's a bummer because, I could just hear you forever. You're such a clear teacher. And for the people that is watching this interview, if there's any questions, please just send us an inbox, a message, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. This organization is international, so we are not just in English. There's also teachers in Portugal. They are all over. In Mexico as well. Just to mention a few organizations, but it's truly international. So go to the Bright Path website. You're going to find so much information, and get in touch if you want to know more. We're going to be having these live interviews with other teachers just as amazing as Jaya in the near future. So stay tuned. I need to say goodbye right now because time is just kind of ticking. But Jaya, thank you so, so much for this enlivening chat. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for this time with you.
Thank you. And I'd love to come back and do part 2.
That would be awesome.
Everybody do the exercise, play with appreciation and see what happens. Change your foundation. Change where you're living today.
That's it. And let us know how you get on. If you do it as a challenge, then let us know how you're doing. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jaya. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.